Hi, we are Chris and Ashley, and we are a marriage surviving sexual addiction and infidelity. And today, and in the last little while, we've had an experience where some teenagers and some parents of youth have reached out to us, and we just decided that maybe we need to make some videos intermingled with what we've been doing, targeted to the youth. The biggest thing that we have always wanted to do is offer hope and help people to feel like they are not alone. So we thought, especially Chris had some great insight for those that might be struggling with pornography, or who have seen it or who have felt the shame. He might have some great insight, and I have some insight of youth who have some struggles with loved ones who have come across it. And so we're going to make some videos about that, but I think we're going to start off this youth series of basically, Chris said that he wanted to say the thoughts and the feelings he had as a youth. So
I think first of all, as a youth, I never thought that years later in my life, I would be on the verge of divorce. I would be at a point where I might lose the ability to see my children, and where I would lose a job because of something I had seen, and the ability to support my family financially would, be gone, and I'd be starting over. None of those things ever crossed my mind. The first time, the second time, the third time, any of those times that I saw pornography. And of course, the first time I saw pornography, for me, it was this thing that it was scary. It was unknown. And it became this, I can't tell anyone I just saw that. There was this feeling within me of, I can't tell anyone. Not my parents, not anyone, not friends, just don't want people to know what I saw. And then as I saw it more and more and kept going back to it, it became, I don't want people to know what I'm looking at. And it kind of became this scary, scary thought in my mind of, what if people find out? And I don't want people to know the real me, what I do when I'm alone. And that started that nature of kind of living those two lives. One is, with people, who I am, and then the other is, when I'm alone, what I do with my time and what I look at and what I occupy myself with. Because it became this thing that being alone, I just kept going back to it, and I couldn't understand why. Because I wasn't getting the help I needed. I wasn't understanding what it was, why I go back to it, what's bringing me to it. And so there's just these scary feelings of shame and of guilt, and what will people think? What will my parents think? They'll be so mad. And not understanding that those things are these little lies we tell ourselves. And we tell ourselves those lies for two reasons. I told myself those lies for two reasons. One is very much so that I could keep looking at it, because I was very much drawn to it. I wanted to look at it. I was enticed by it, was attracted to it. I found myself thinking about it constantly, and thinking about what other things can I find, what other things can I look at. So that's one. And then the other is just that lie of, well, everyone will think that I'm terrible. My parents will hate me. They'll be so ashamed of me. They won't love me. And again, a lie. Complete lies. And so I try to stop viewing it on my own. And that would work for a little bit. I could put together little bits of sobriety. But without the proper tools, without the help, without being accountable to anyone, without loved ones to support me, it never went very long. And then I'd feel even more shame. I'd feel even more worthlessness. I'd start to feel that it was just impossible, that I'd never be able to overcome it. And very much, those would be very depressing feelings and scary feelings, the things I'd start to think. And again, lies I would tell myself. A feeling that, just be better off, I'd be better, or the world would be better off without me. And that is such a lie, such a horrible lie, and so far from the truth. Because if I believed those lies, I wouldn't have the life I live right now. And one, you're not alone. Two, there is so much hope and happiness out there for you if you will seek after it.
See, and for him, he just kept saying, I didn't want anybody to know the real me, because if they did, they wouldn't love me. He felt that shame. He expressed that shame often, and something that sometimes still pops up in his head. And he was facing divorce. Well, I'm still here. I'm his wife, and I love him, and his family loves him. And the same will go for anybody who has stumbled across it, who has been intrigued by it, or who is addicted to it. You will have safe people in your life who are maybe don't always say the perfect things, who may not understand it all the time, but they're going to love you. And there are resources, lots and lots of resources. The biggest thing that we would say in this is to educate yourself. The more you educate yourself, the more you understand that this is a true addiction, that it is hard to overcome.
It is changing your brain.
It is changing your brain. It's hard to overcome. And we understand that. That is something that we all can get, of things that are hard to overcome. So Fight the New Drug on Facebook is a great resource for youth. Like Dragons They Did Fight, it's a book from the Sons of Helaman program. The author is
Maurice Harker.
That's a great book that breaks it down, and it's targeted to young men, but they have a Facebook as well that has some, they've got one for the daughters, parent support, wife support. They've got something for everything.
Men who are struggling.
And there's so many different resources, but the Dragons They Did Fight and the Fight the New Drug are two of the best resources we've come across for youth. And it's just one of those things that it's so smart to educate yourself in, so you're not alone. So those times where you're like, why am I intrigued by this? Why do I keep going back to this? Why can't I stop on my own? Because this is something that you need help with, and that's okay, because we all need help. So we will continue to do videos, and you guys just know that, I have a huge soft spot for the youth. I love youth. I keep trying to be one. And it's something that I just want you guys to know. You're amazing. You are amazing people, and you're so smart, and technology has come such a far way, and it can be used for so much good, but you might, stumble across this way more than you would like. And there are ways to overcome it. And if you're intrigued by it, you're not a bad person.
No.
You're not. And it's just something that if you need the help, there's resources out there, and you want the help, you can get it. You really can.
And no matter what you're feeling right now, those feelings of my youth, those feelings of my adulthood, there is so much happiness out there.
Yeah.
And it is available to you. It's available to every one of us. And I, despite every ill feeling and every lie I told myself, I am so happy right now. Yeah. And I know that that's available for all of us.
And he's completely out in the open, vulnerable, and helps a lot of people. Not saying that you need to go share with everybody in the world, but you find a safe person and they will love you.
Yep.
No matter what. So thank you.